can you complete the Presage Exotic mission in its current state as a solo player? Now, obviously, with the Ash 9 update that's just released, a bit over a week now, there have been some pretty glaring issues now that have been identified. And namely, it's the Pinnacle Ops that have been added. Presage wasn't part of the Pinnacle Ops, but it's been added. It's part of, I don't know if it's still coming up in the Legends tab, but it's definitely part of the portal. And with it being added to the portal, there are some very nasty quirks. One being that the actual completion time for this activity is only about 13 and a bit minutes, so just over 13 minutes, and it does not leave a lot of room for error. I did complete this with the fire team, and I actually uploaded a video yesterday. You can have a look at that if you like for a bit of a little crash course on where to go and maybe a small guide. But I thought to myself, I wonder if has anyone actually solo this, or is there much on YouTube regarding a solo completion on this thing? So I had a little look around, and I came across this video, and this YouTuber here is having some dramas, and look, it's very valid. If you are a new player or you don't have an optimized kit, there is no way that you're going to be able to finish this. Even as a fire team, it's very hard, very difficult. So as a solo player, as he said, it's incredibly difficult. But being impossible, I don't know whether it's going to be impossible or not. And I thought, well, look, I'll give it a crack and see if I can actually finish this as a solo player. We're playing on the Master difficulty again. I'm only at light level. I just cracked 340, but I think with the equipment I've got, it's at 338. So we're playing on light level challenge mode. It's like 300 plus light, 300 and something. There are champions in this mode. Obviously not to the extent of Grandmaster, but when I get to that level, we'll probably give this another go and see if it's still able to be completed as a solo player on Grandmaster. But in terms of, I guess, the route that I'm using from the previous video, it's very much similar. It's very much the same. I guess a bit of an overview is, I haven't changed the weapons. So the two SMGs that I'm using with the Peacekeepers, they both are lightweight frames. So you actually move a little bit faster with these items, with these weapons equipped. See, there's sneaky little grenade there, which took out those two screams. I was very proud of that. So you do move a little bit faster, obviously with the Peacekeepers too. It's only really come to my attention that the Peacekeepers actually add a small movement bonus while you're holding SMGs. So I mentioned in the video from yesterday that the movement speed increase was negligible, but I think it's actually pretty decent. So it's going to give you quite a decent boost. I think switching to, I've got the Dragon's Breath rocket launcher, switching to that, you can noticeably feel moving quite a lot slower. So I think I might have been talking a little bit of BS yesterday. So yeah, look, lightweight frames may be really handy for this activity. And you can see here, this little garbage area, you're really at the whim of RNGesus there. You can get a really good spread. Sometimes you don't. But that time we got a pretty clean one. And you can see on the louvers, on those little panels you have to break, you can only see it from one way. So it's very difficult to see from the opposite end. We're in the first major combatant room. Now basically I was trying to focus the champion first, trying to get rid of him. I did get a bit sidetracked by the Wraith and got bombarded by these raiders. Now I was really lucky not to get sniped out of the air. These guys are usually very accurate, so I got extremely lucky there. But onto the next wave here. Now I was looking down there to try and bounce a grenade down, but I didn't have it. I wasn't ready, and I just backed myself in this little corner. So yeah, look, a lot of these sunspots, they're really making light work of a lot of these combatants. You can see we're at 9 minutes to go, which is pretty well on par for where you want to be here. Anything over 9 minutes means you're on a really good course. I did attempt this numerous times, and Oh, it's funny, very difficult to get through this room here, but I managed to get a little strategy down pat. So we get rid of this, well, what is it, a captain sort of thing? Take these two guys out. The shields are extremely annoying. And, yeah, rise up, get this raider, take out the captain, the chieftain. That's what it is, a chieftain. So get rid of him, because otherwise those invulnerability little turret things, they get very frustrating. See there, the unstoppable, focus him, and with the intrinsic on the rocket, make sure work of that one. So the solar pop now, just mopping up a lot of these smaller combatants. The other abomination there, not a unstoppable as well, which is fine, but he's actually a lot harder to kill than the other one, so I don't know. I'll probably take another unstoppable any time of the day. Throw the grenade out, get rid of those guys, and try not to overshoot this platform, which I did. Miss the hammer, and then look at the timing. Goes invisible, and the other one did too, so I lost a little bit of time there. That was extremely frustrating. The timing there is comical, but give him the right hook, and good night to him. So roughly at about 7.5 minutes. Yeah, roughly about 7.5 minutes there, which is not bad. I am running a little bit behind on what I would like to be. But yeah, look, still pretty decent so far. It's going to give us enough time at the end, provided we can get there. Running through this section now, just making sure that the rocket launcher was actually reloaded. And I discovered that it seems like if you get solar kills, or create ignitions or scorch or something like that, I wasn't really too sure on the actual wording of Dragon's Breath, but it reloads the rocket if you hit enough stacks of its little perks. So you don't actually have to, get the rocket launcher out and then reload it, which rocket launchers are pretty slow to reload. So you're saving a little bit of time there, and you can build up scorch and ignitions during combat. So you don't have to get yourself out of combat or stop attacking. You can just keep going. So it's really handy to have. Really recommend this rocket launcher for this activity. It's absolute A tier for this one. So you can see on the time now, we're still at just over 6 minutes, which is, in terms of those familiar, that's giving us a really decent amount. We've got a pretty clear run to the end here. Get rid of this overload. Now, a lot of these enemies, you don't actually have to take them out. I'm sort of discovering at the time, it was around about here, I'm like, why am I bothering? Why don't I just hit the button? I've gotten rid of the champion. Take the scorpion out. And just here, I could hear the scream going. I thought he was going to blow me up. And I very luckily just got enough shots into that little fuse thing, popped it, and that gave us the ability to move on. So dropping down again, and just finding our bearing, finding out which door we need to get through. Popping the buff again, just slam these doors onto the left. You can't really see very well in my footage because the darkness is down, but you just want to go in a little U shape. Jump over the screen, open the door, and yeah, look, we're back in the original room for this area. So we're going to pop that buff again, straight through these doors, get the rocket launcher out just before we get into the next room, and we're going to aim for the abomination on the other side of the room there. And what that's going to do, because we've accumulated all that fuel, it's going to light everything on fire. So anything that tripped over that, that's really going to feel the burn. So it's going to take a lot of the ads out. Unfortunately, tried to bounce the grenade there, panicked, because it bounced back into me, and they actually do quite a bit of damage to yourself if you're standing in the wrong spot. So almost a run into there, getting stuck on the little spikes in the ground there. And he's a real big time saver. These things will usually, they don't hinder you at all. Jump through this little gap. Just going to be trying to be as quick as possible. You can actually get through without having to stuff around with trying to unlock that second buff to get through. You can actually get through there in one go. Once I was reviewing the footage here, that I probably didn't need to put that banner down. That probably would have saved me another 5 seconds. But here we are. We're in the boss room. We've got just over 4 minutes to go, I believe. No, we're at 4 minutes pretty well exactly. One out of the super there. On to the solar SMG, the wider mini tool, which I'll get right this time. I think I called it the actual scout rifle last time. But yeah, look, solar is the way to go because it absolutely crushes these shields. And with the right setup, you can really get a lot of sunspots going. Now, I am trying to activate these consoles. Yeah, I'm using a controller. I play on Xbox, and it's quite hard to try and kill the enemies while holding down the X button. You sort of, your right hand ends up in like a claw stance, you know, for competitive gaming, and it's not very comfortable at all. But who would have thought you would have had to adopt a completely different controller grip just to finish this thing? Even attempt to finish this thing. But yeah, look, you can see there, we've already got the super back. So this is why I really love this loadout. It's just really versatile. You know, you cover 2 of the champion types, and realistically, you can just keep shooting forever. You've got 2 primary ammos, and they reload instantly when you switch weapons, so really handy to have. These raiders, man. Oh, these raiders are so annoying. But anyway, make quick work of them. Give them a little farewell. And yeah, this mini tool, it's actually got incandescent on it, so it's blowing these enemies up with the precision hit, I think. Or it might even just be body shots, that's fine. But that was really putting in work too. Yeah, see, that was the precision and it blew up. So I think it might be just headshots and stuff. Jumping down for the second time. I couldn't quite see him properly, but yeah, he's definitely across the way. He's hit him with the rocket, which is really... I was very surprised to actually hit him. And get him again, just under the armpit there. And then he decides, well, he's going to be a coward and jump, run away, hide around the corner, get a bit more damage in. And then he runs away again. And you can see there, we've already auto-loaded that rocket, get him in the armpit, and just run. But by the time he gets to us, our own rocket was going to kill us, which, funnily enough, killed me in the last video I had. But I'm going to shoot the rocket across there. The fuel on the ground again is going to wipe up a lot of these ads. And you can see here, making sure it works. So yeah, solar really is the way to go. Look at these shields. Yeah, just nothing left. On the last, yeah, when you're on the last chunk, every chunk sort of increases the amount of combatants between each stage. So you need to just be wary that you're going to have to kill a few more enemies for the next time that you have to go down and try and damage him. Wipe up the last 2 here. And I've purposely kept my super. I didn't use it the second time because I wanted to make sure I actually had it. Because I want to hit him with a rocket and then just hammer him. Just keep hammering him. And so you can see the time there. We're roughly at, what are we at, 45 seconds. And by the time he's gone down, we're at 40 seconds left. So a really blazing run. And yeah, look, that's pretty much it, guys. We're all completed there on solo. No glitches or anything like that. If you put in enough time, you can certainly do this, and you can even get, I reckon you could finish this with like under 13 minutes. That was 13 minutes and 7 seconds. I got stuck on things. You know, I messed up the garbage chute room as well. And there's a lot of time saving there. I reckon you could probably easily get that down to like a 12:50, 12:45. But yeah, look, it's certainly possible, but for the average player, it's not feasible at all. So yeah, look, some details there, some items and, you know, whatnot of what I ran. But yeah, look, hope you enjoy this one, guys. I'll see you in the next one.